Was everybody check it out here, the V Club, alright, the Villain Club. Election day, oh yeah. Today is the day. Finally we get past all this stuff that's been happening here. A lot of blue Democrat BS and it's really a disservice and a disappointment about how liberal media, right, which is literally everybody and their mama, which is like ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, MSNBC. Shit, I mean, they're stacked against outlets like Fox, maybe News Nation, and it just sucks because it's so slanted and skewed on what's going on in the world of politics that when you really dig down to the bare truth of everything, you really see how much more it makes sense on the Republican side of things, you know. So I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag. I mean, I did vote for Trump, and to me, it just makes sense, all right? Because when you look at what's been going on in the last 4 years, all right, it hasn't been good. Cost of living, illegal immigrants, cost of living, that's tied to inflation. Everything just costs more, right? And it costs more if you make more money too, by the way. So low income earners, all right, won't see it as much as higher income earners. And that's the thing about it, right? That's why liberal media and liberals and Democrats and progressives really go after the ones that don't make money in terms of trying to get their support because they throw handouts and things like that, these social programs. It's something that they're willing to accept because it's like, hey, oh wow, they're actually giving this to us. But the problem is they haven't been doing that now. They're giving it all to the illegals. All right. But it makes sense. I mean, like what Trump is trying to do, trying to propose, trying to go about things. We got to stop what's going on right now, just in general. And everything that Kamala does not make any sense, all right? I mean, you name it, from the constant flip flopping, the lying, the gaslighting, whether it's her or any Democratic representation, it's all a bunch of crap. And then you look at, for example, recently with Cardi B, she endorses Kamala all of a sudden, right? I think because you see all these different celebrities and, millionaires and all that endorsing Kamala, right? Because she has like Hollywood backing her, which is a disappointment because I don't care for Hollywood anymore, right? The elites and all that stuff, screw all them, you know. And I think Cardi B was just trying to jump on board that train. All right, she didn't want to be left out because it wasn't that long ago, 2 years ago, when she was slamming Biden on her, you know, Instagram rants and things like that about how bad things are and how everything costs so much. And then all of a sudden, according to her, she says, "Oh, when Kamala, stepped in to become the nominee, which she got put there, she never won a primary. She decided to throw her support behind Kamala because of all the change that she has coming." It's like, what's she going to change if it's already the same party representing the White House? You know what I'm saying? So that's Cardi B flip flopping garbage, right? And all these different celebrities, screw all of them too. Tampon Tim, that tampon. And it's funny because when you think about it, all right, like, what is the purpose of having a tampon in boys' bathrooms? I still don't get a tampon in boys' bathrooms because even if you had transgender male, female to male, or cross dressers or tomboys, You know tomboys, right? That's the old term you would call girls that dress like guys or try to look more like a guy, but they're not really a guy, right? So they used to call them tomboys. They never go into boys' bathrooms. And even if it was a transgender girl that's become a boy, we're not going to boys' bathrooms. Lesbians that tend to be more butch, like a man, right? Remember that term? Don't go to boys' bathrooms. So there's no point in having tampons in boys' bathrooms. It just does not make any sense. So if you guys want some of that happening across America, support Tampon Tim. Right? I mean, Megyn Kelly's throwing her support, endorsing Trump. Even Joe Rogan, believe it or not. I saw this and I was like, wow, I was actually a little surprised. Because he seemed like he was trying to be impartial. But yeah, Joe Rogan officially endorses Donald Trump for president. So that's cool. Alright, because it makes sense. He makes a lot more sense. Kamala, lots of word salad, never answers any questions straight about anything. It's always sidestepping and then redirecting to some speech line that she memorizes, right? So ingenuine and insane, the whole party. And every time Jim Cramer predicts something, you always do the opposite because he's been terrible at making calls. Jim Cramer says market action suggests traders expect a Kamala Harris win. No, it's not. Polymarket, which is a betting market in crypto, has heavily favored Donald Trump. So I don't know where you get his information from, but he's always been wrong about predictions, especially in crypto. All right, which is pretty funny. So when you look at everything else that's going on, I really thought, oh, by the way, surprise appearance on the Joe Rogan show here, Elon Musk, right? So it's funny how that is. Watch Coleman get angry at NBC host goes off script to ask this. Oh, really? Let's see this. Yeah, okay. All right, I was going to say.
That's the reason why you're here, and he's not running for the top of the ticket.
Well, you'd have to ask him if that's the only reason why.
The other thing with Harris is that she should not even be the nominee right now. She threatened Biden with 25th Amendment. I mean, we just showed you that video of him, again, the rambling and everything else. So it's not.
Let me try that again here.
That's the reason why you're here, and he's not running for the top of the ticket.
Well, you'd have to ask him if that's the only reason why.
The other thing with Harris is that she should not even be the nominee right now. She threatened Biden with 25th Amendment. I mean, we just showed you that video of him, again, the rambling and everything else. So it's not like he should have been the nominee, and he shouldn't have even been president anyway. But this was an interesting question. She was asked about, again, because this has happened repeatedly, when she's asked when she kind of knew that Biden was crumbling, that the decline was obvious. And just watch this lack of answer.
Can you say that you were honest with the American people about what you saw in those moments with President Biden as you were with him again and again, repeatedly in that time?
Of course. Joe Biden is an extremely accomplished, experienced, and capable in every way that anyone would want if they're president.
And you never saw anything like what happened at the debate night behind closed doors with him?
Of course not. They deny all that stuff. Everything that you see of Joe Biden in the Oval Office, oh, he's such a party animal. He's sharp as a tack. All that stuff. And they all were in on keeping the secret that he wasn't in good condition at all. Right? It's a cover-up. So it's all full of shit. You know, that's why he just needs to go. All right?
It was a bad debate. People have bad debates. He is absolutely.
But that's the reason why you're here, and he's not running for the top of the ticket.
Well, you'd have to ask him if that's the only reason why.
Well, yeah. Because if he was as good as he supposedly is, well, then she wouldn't be here in his shoes right now to be running for president. If Biden is as sharp as he is and everything that he's supposed to be, then what's she doing here then? Right? So that doesn't make any sense. And no Democrat can logically say that Joe is in his right mind to be able to run for president, because if he was truly, she would not be here right now talking.
What do you think?
I am running for president of the United States. I speak with not only sincerity, but with a real firsthand account of watching him do this work. I have no reluctance in saying that. No, of course I don't.
So there was no reason that he stepped down after that, and she has no recollection of something being wrong with the guy. That should be disqualifying right there. The woman cannot admit, even now, even after they have coronated you, you unqualified person, you still just admit it. Just admit it. The debate was horrible, and finally we had some suspicions about his mental state. But
no, it is way beyond just the debate. I mean, it's been known for a long time that Biden wasn't in good condition ever anymore, for years. But there it is. So Joe Rogan officially endorses Donald Trump for president. All right. See that there on Sky News. Jesse Waters here. Kamala Harris dodging tough questions is a pattern. Yeah, that's her deal. She dodges everything. And, it just sucks. So, let's see here. So celebrities are the only way Kamala Harris can fill seats, which is true. You notice that she brings all these celebrities on her recent rallies because she relies on them to help bring people there. Because without them, who will really show up? A smaller crowd, obviously, but not a large of a crowd as she would have gotten had she has a celebrity there. So with no celebrity, no bueno, no good for her. Shock as Joe Rogan endorses Donald Trump. So that's telling, because he gave Kamala every fair way possible to show up on the Joe Rogan show, just to kind of speak on her side of things, have a conversation, just like Trump does. But she blew it off, and she was trying to make demands to do certain things like, oh, can you fly up to meet me, and can you do this, and can you do that, oh, can you shorten it to 1 hour instead of 3 hours, and all this stuff. And it's like, bitch, this is my show. I do it my way, and either you do it my way or you get your step in, go on the highway, right? So that's what happened there. Some really interesting stuff, right, is what I thought was a good take on things. Let me take you to Valuetainment, because some really good stuff came from Valuetainment yesterday here. I thought was really good stuff. So let me pull them up.
So at 13 years old, I had
good stuff here. They're a good channel. They tell it like it is, and it makes sense, right? So let me see here. 25 reasons why Trump is going to win, all right? So let's go off of this. I like this because it breaks it down. 25 reasons why Trump's going to win. I'm not going to play the whole video into that. I'm just going to try to get to the point of them and go from there.
Today's October 31st, but you're probably getting this video on November 4th. Next day is going to be election Tuesday. People are losing their mind. Everybody's going to say, oh, this person's going to win.
Let's check this out.
Person's going to win. Today I'm going to give you 25 reasons why I believe based on odds, Trump will win.
Barring a black swan event, because you never know, some bullshit that may happen. All right, some bullshit that may happen out of this whole election, right? You just never know because Democrats are sneaky, conniving, piece of shit party people that they might try to pull some bullshit. Got to be very careful. Let's see what happens here.
The election, barring a black swan event.
Yeah,
Give
I
this video,
agree.
Give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. So number one, newspapers. You ready? USA Today, not endorsing Kamala, they endorse Biden. LA Times, not endorsing Kamala, they endorse Biden. Washington Post, not endorsing Kamala, they endorsed Biden. And they've been for many, many years. They said no. It's so bad that WAPO, even though they knew they were going to take a hit, they have 2.5 million paid subscribers. When
WAPO is Washington Post. Yeah, it's interesting because when you have all these major newspapers not endorsing Kamala, and they're not even endorsing Trump either. They're just not endorsing Kamala, which if they were favoring Democratic Party, but yet they're not supporting or endorsing Kamala, that's bad. That's bad.
Bezos came out and said, we're not endorsing Kamala, not him. The writers, the editor-in-chief, people resigned, people quit. But on top of that, 200,000 paid subscribers said, nope, we're out. We're no longer with you, WAPO. And Bezos still doubled down and said, we're doing this. 200 papers who endorsed Biden in 2020 are not endorsing Kamala. That's not a good sign. Number two, you and I get judged for who we marry, who we befriend as a CEO, who we hire. And imagine if you're about to be a CEO of the biggest company in the world called the United States of America, you're going to get judged for who you choose as your VP. Kamala Harris chose a guy named Tim Walz. Nice guy. My God, he's weird. Trump chose a guy named
Man, I
J.D.
might play
Vance.
this whole
None of
video.
us
This is
knew
actually a
about
good
this
video.
guy. I mean, we had heard of him, but we didn't know about him. It was Vivek, Tulsi, or blah, blah. You choose J.D. Vance. Oh, I'm not with it. I don't know about this. You see him on TV. Ooh, he's good. You see him on the debate with Tim Walz. Oh, my God, he is good. You see him on Jake Tapper. He destroyed. You see him on Dana Oma. You see him on Long Form Podcast laughing funny.
Oh man, JD Vance. I didn't know nothing about JD Vance until he started making these appearances. He's speaking. He's coherent. He's knowledgeable, witty, right? Very likable, and the future of the Republican / MAGA party, because he definitely is embedded of what America is what it is, right? Being American, and I'm tired of all the BS bullshit, illegal immigrant loving, handouts, spewing, all this other crap that's going on, and we've had enough of this stuff, tampons and all this liberal bullshit needs to stop.
I like this guy. Trump did a better job choosing the VP than Kamala.
I agree with that too.
Not a good look. Point number three, celebrity endorsements used to matter. They're not working anymore. Taylor Swift, right after the debate, Kamala Harris, Trump. Oh my God, all her followership. This is it. The election is over with. 2 weeks later, it actually backfired. People turned against Kamala and wanted to go vote for Trump. And she lost a bunch of credibility. Beyonce, she's going to come out. It's going to be unbelievable in Houston. She's out there.
Only for a 4-minute speech.
People showing up, lining up outside. She gets up there, talks for 2 to 3 minutes, leaves. Nobody is performing. People started walking out. They were not there for Kamala. They were there for a concert. I can't give you a name. Bruce Springsteen, John Legend, Beyonce, Eminem, Arnold, Jennifer Lawrence, Bad Bunny, Jennifer Lopez, Ricky Martin.
Screw all them.
All these guys. Now go to the other side endorsement. You ready? Bobby Kennedy. The biggest Kennedy right now goes on the other side, endorses Trump. What? This guy's a
That's
lifelong
telling
Democrat.
right there.
Tulsi Gabbard goes from being a Democrat who took out Hillary, who went after everybody, and then she becomes an independent.
That tells you something there
and she
too.
becomes a Republican.
That's telling.
Go to all these other guys, and then think about a guy named Elon Musk.
Elon
Richest man in
Musk.
the world. Battery, Tesla, SpaceX, doing it for 20th of a cost what NASA
That's
does.
very
Boom.
telling.
You got people left out there? Don't worry, we'll come and take care of you. Zelensky, you're the greatest beggar in the world. As much as we don't like you, here's Starlink. You're going to be okay. I'm going to give internet to your people. All of these things he's done. And he's coming out and saying, I'm behind Trump and I'm putting money behind it. One endorsement of Elon Musk may be more valuable than all of these celebrities combined. Very, very different type of endorsement. One is just an actress, entertainer, performer, athlete talking. The other one is involved, talking policies, issues, can get deeper on issues, very tough for the opposition. Trump got the right endorsement. She got all the celebrities. Will it work in 2024? I don't think so.
No. Again, I agree. And check this out too. Joe Rogan now on to be added to the list of endorsements. All right, that's big. That's huge.
Kamala took the strategy of going to mainstream media to do all these interviews. No problem. Trump goes to Joe Rogan, gets 40 million views, 3-hour interview, more views than all of Kamala's interviews combined. She goes on Call Her Daddy, which a lot of people say, well, that's a top podcast, top 3, 800,000 views. She goes on Club Shay Shay. Shannon Sharp did the most viewed interview of all time, maybe on YouTube. 70+ million views with Cat Williams. No one's ever done that before with anybody on YouTube. No one has ever done that before. She only gets 889,000 views. She's boring. People are not interested in it. Trump went to podcasters. He came to us. He went to Schultz. He went to Theo Vaughn. They crushed it. He went to Bloomberg. He went everywhere. She did not go everywhere. The strategy of podcasting crushed her strategy of safe softball interviews. Number 5, when mainstream...
I agree again. Point number 4.
They no longer talk about policies. All they talked about is fear porn, fear porn, fear porn, Nazi, MSG, MSNBC. Look at this. Do you realize this is upon the anniversary of 75 years? That's what they're doing.
He's a Nazi. He's a Nazi. He's Hitler.
The other side is talking policies. Mainstream media went into scaring the crap out of the voter, and the voters finally pump the brakes. Listen, stop. Don't do that. It's unattractive. Number 6, which is kind of weird. Republicans are leading in early voting, which rarely happens. What? Republicans early voting? When's the last time Republicans led on early voting? Not often. Over 3.1 million people across North Carolina have cast a ballot.
I did early voting myself.
As of Tuesday, registered Republicans have a slight turnout edge over registered Democrats. 33%, with remaining 32% unaffiliated. How is it 34 to 33? Republicans over Democrats? You don't see that often. Something's going on. People want to help this man win. Number 7, normally when people want to know who's the boss, if I want to make a decision, there's 2 people sitting here. If after this meeting I call him, he's got more influence than he does. You know who tech CEOs are calling right now? They're not calling Kamala. Tim Cook is calling Trump for help. Musk is calling Trump. All these tech CEOs are calling Trump. Why are they calling Trump? Because maybe they are sitting behind scenes and saying, look, odds are Trump's going to win. And why am I going to call her? I'm going to call him because I'm going to have to do business with him in the next 30, 60, 90 days. Number 8, European stocks have dropped 7% since late September due to fear of what? Trump's tariffs. Watch this chart here. If you look at this chart, you got the gray, black, the orange, and the blue. Blue is S&P 500. It's doing fine since October.
All this anticipation.
The red is Euro Stoxx 600 index.
I agree.
The black is the Goldman Sachs basket of European exposed stocks. Look how they're, and the Muslim vote, majority. Numbers are not looking something many Americans don't yet know. Number 9, Democrats have historically had the Jewish vote, majority, and the Muslim vote, majority. Numbers are not looking good. You would assume Jews are going to be on Kamala.
And the thing about it, too, is that the Jewish vote and the Muslim vote typically goes to the Democrat side, right? And like he was going to point out about how they would, you would think that it's a easy win. But because she's so wishy-washy, she plays both sides, and that's the Biden administration as well. When we know that the Jewish people have been our allies for years, but all of a sudden you want to play, both sides with Gaza, Palestinians, Hamas, this, and we need a ceasefire, and then we need and all this other bullshit. All right, I mean, it's like, you're just playing both sides here and toying with everybody, and it's like you can't have it that way. And so when you do that, you're really messing with people's minds, and that's why she's losing the Jewish vote and she's losing the Muslim vote. And the problem too is that when you look at Pennsylvania, right, you look at, for example, Shapiro, who's the governor of Pennsylvania. He is Jewish, and to me it's a slap in the face that I don't see why Shapiro should even respect her or even support her, when he should be like, screw you, Kamala, because the way that Biden administration has been playing around with this whole situation in the Middle East, it should have been done with a long time ago, but they keep playing around with all this and not letting Israel finish the job, if I was Shapiro, I'd be like, screw you, Kamala. Plus, you spurned me over to get Tim Walz. Like, really? So, just saying.
Aside, right? But watch what happened here. 2024, Harris leads Trump amongst Jewish voters overall with approximately 60% supporting Harris, over 30% for Trump. Just how could you get both a Jewish vote and a Muslim vote? They historically always vote Democratic.
Historically,
a Muslim comes out at one of the conference, the leaders in Michigan get up, and Michigan is known for a lot of Muslims. They get up and they say, the reason why we're voting for Trump is because we think he's going to end the war in the Middle East. Kamala needs Beyonce to get both a Jewish vote and a Muslim vote. Trump's doing that. Rallies. Kamala needs Beyonce to get people to show up for him. Trump, Coachella, 100,000 people show up. Madison Square Garden, sold out. People lined up. 50,000 people are outside trying to get in, doing videos and all this stuff. Knowing the man is in there. Pure audience. More people are coming up showing for him than others. Similar thing happened when Obama was going against McCain. Everybody wanted to come and hear Obama speak. Nobody was going for McCain. Kamala, who's apparently black, has been losing the black vote. Everybody's wondering, she should have gotten it because she's black, right? Jamaican, black, Indian, whatever they want to call it. Well, how is she losing the black vote? Here's numbers. 18% support Trump. Up from
because she's so full of shit. She's phony.
That's an increase of 10%.
That's why.
6% in 2016.
I mean, she's phony.
Trump went from 6%. You're reaching, like you're trying a little bit too much, like you're trying too hard to get someone's attention. Here's Tim Walz in AOC playing Madden. Ask them if they're really playing the game to relate to the average person on Twitch. They start the game. You know what the game ends score-wise? 0-0. So, which audience is on Twitch? The younger audience. Do you really think you and I can fool millions of kids that were really playing Madden? What do you think? If I went and tried to fool my kids that I'm playing a video game, my 8-year-old daughter will be, Dad, what are you doing on Roblox? That's not how you do this thing here. All it would take is an 8-year-old to realize these guys are gaslighting and pandering to them. They're not buying into this. It's actually a turnoff, and not only that,
it's funny
it
as
shows
hell.
A lot of desperation, not working. Merch, when it comes down to merch, whose merch are they more interested in?
People are buying
Kamala or Trump?
USA, MAGA.
From April to September, Trump-branded merch on Amazon sold $140 million worth of merch. You know what she sold? $26 million. So yesterday I'm at the Yankees game. Game 5. Guess what people are wearing? I saw MAGA hats everywhere. You know how many Kamala hats I saw? I don't even know what a Kamala hat looks like, but I know what a MAGA hat looks like. So do millions. Unions. When you think about unions, who do you think about? They're going to vote for Democrats, right? Like
typically,
always on that.
Yeah, typically Teamsters, all that stuff supported Democrats forever. And they even decided not to endorse Kamala, even though members of the union admittedly said that they support Trump. But the president of the Teamsters said, nah, union said, nah, we're not going to endorse anybody. So again, that's still a win for Republicans when they're not supporting the original party that they've supported forever by not endorsing Kamala. That's telling as well.
That side, right? That's what we are. We're for that guy. Unions are now coming out saying either we're not endorsing Kamala, and for decades they've endorsed the candidate on the left. But not only that, Steelworkers Union in Pennsylvania endorsed Trump. Border Patrol Union endorsed Trump. How do you lose the union vote? But she's doing that. There's certain
she's losing everything and everybody. That's that is the serious thing there.
Endorsements you may not want to have. Putin is one of them. You know who Putin endorsed? Kamala Harris. So when it comes down to people,
you know why he endorsed Kamala Harris? Because he know that she's going to be easy to walk all over.
Podcast. We read a lot of articles from a lot of different platforms. So finally, I'm like, which one is this coming from? Word. You know what it was in 2016? 28%, up 11%. More and more Latinos are with Trump. I'm going to combine 17 and 18 together, but here we go. I can understand a comedian getting up and calling Puerto Ricans, and offending them, right? That's a comedian. But you know who's the last person that should call supporters of Trump anything? It's the existing president. You know what Biden said? He called Trump supporters
garbage. Yeah.
You know what ended up happening with garbage? It was the #1 trending story on Twitter for 24 hours. That is not going to work. And Trump's always going to capitalize off any crisis. What did he do? He went out there and got a garbage truck. His team got a
funny as
hell.
hell.
Put on the garbage truck, the vest that he wore, and he gave a speech with it, going on nonstop about it, because President Biden, called Trump's voters Garbage. Bad move. Some people on the left, including Josh Shapiro, saw it for the first time. You don't say something like this. Frank Luntz said this could be the reason why it flips. A lot of bad mistakes. This was a real big one. He's not helping Kamala. 19. The popular vote is so close. By the way, Republicans have only won the popular vote twice since 1988. You know what it's looking like right now? Harris is leading Trump by around 1 or 2 points nationally, according to averages from 538 and Real Clear Politics. This contrasts to Biden 9-point lead in October of 2020 and Clinton's 6-point lead in October of.
So you know what that means? That when you look at this right here, all right. So if Biden was 9 points ahead and beat Trump he barely beat Trump in 2020. Clinton had a 6-point lead and Trump beat her. And so if she has like a 1 to 2 point lead right now, that tells you that Trump may win just based on popular vote right there.
Of 2016. Bad for Kamala. 20. States like Virginia and New Hampshire, who are rarely close, are close. Trump could win Virginia and New Hampshire. That's not the case when you're dealing with winning those 2 states. But again, that's a byproduct of there is no proof. Even McDonald's said, we can't make that troll of being. It's a byproduct of Virginia and New Hampshire. That's not the case when you're dealing with winning those 2 states. But again, that's a byproduct of a bad, boring candidate. 21. No one in the history of politics has been a bigger troll of being able to get under the skin of their opponents than a guy named Donald Trump. Kamala claims she used to work at McDonald's. There is no proof. Even McDonald's said, we don't have it. And they wanted to come back and try to make
Full
it
of
better.
shit.
We just don't have it. It was so embarrassing that somebody photoshopped an image of a white girl who used to work at McDonald's, and they put Kamala's face on it to show that it was. And all these Democrats started saying, now we have proof, now we have proof, and now we have proof. Guess what X did? It fact checks it, and it puts it right there for you. And this is not Kamala Harris. You know what Trump does? He decides to go to McDonald's, and he wears their uniform. Can I get hired? Goes to drive-through, starts handing food over, becomes one of the biggest stories trending, gets billions and billions of views. That even to the point where the opposition, Bill Maher, all these other guys have to say, frickin' A, you got to give him credit to go and do what he did with McDonald's. Basic small stuff that he's doing that the other side's just not doing. 22, Trump said, Rogan, do you want to do the interview or no? Yes. Trump flies to Austin. There's a 3-hour interview, nonstop conversation, finishes it, gets on a flight, goes to Michigan. People are waiting for him for 3 hours, gives the speech, then takes off. Kamala's people. Joe, if you're willing to travel to us, we'll give you 1 hour to do the interview. Joe's like, no, you're in Texas. Why don't you stop by? Let's do something to get in. An hour's not enough to get to know you. Why don't we do it for 2 hours? Nope.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, like, I don't know how Trump can do it. I mean, he has God energy or something. He's crazy how he just keeps going and going. I don't even know how he has that energy to keep going like he does. But Kamala hasn't done enough and should be doing more. But to be doing these kind of demands and all that, yeah, it's not good.
Doesn't mean she's not going to do it yet. J.D. Vance did it today or yesterday. Trump's already done it. But Kamala so far has said, nope, not interested. Haven't done it. It's unattractive. These are undecided voters for Kamala to win. They're not interested. 23, there's this dinner that's called the Al Smith dinner. That's a great dinner. Phenomenal dinner.
Turn down the dinner too. It's like, what is wrong with you? See, I think she has a little bit of arrogance thinking that, I don't need to do all this.
And Trump's up there and says, you know, Hillary bumped into me earlier and she said, pardon me. And I said, I'll think about it. Everyone starts laughing, including Hillary. Matter of fact, they may even put the clip for you to see it.
Between my opponent and me at the debate last night, we have proven that we can actually be civil to each other. In fact, just before taking the dais, Hillary accidentally bumped into me, and she very civilly said, pardon me. And I very politely replied, let me talk to you about that after I get into office.
This year, this is Kamala's chance to come. These are Catholics. Come and perform. There's a lot of Catholic voters in America. You're like, no. I'm too busy to come. I'm out there campaigning. Not as hard as Trump is. What does Trump do? Makes the time. He goes there, stands up, tells the jokes, says everything that he says, and then walks off. And he says, look, you obviously realize Catholics can't vote for her. She's not here today. Obviously, he's poking and he's having fun with it. But for the person that's undecided voter that's a Catholic, guess what they say? I don't want to do this, man. But he showed up, and if she's not going to show up to something like this, is she ever going to show up to? They say she didn't show up to the border. She didn't show up to Rogan. She didn't show up to Al Smith. What else is she not going to show up to when she becomes president? Most likely a lot of things. Yeah, you know what? Probably going to vote for Trump. That's very important. Another miss. 24, Democrats chose a candidate called Kamala Harris in a non-democratic way with no primary, but it's democratic. My opinion, if there was a primary, Josh Shapiro, Pritzker, and Whitmer would have all beaten
they
Kamala
all would
Harris
have.
in the primary.
I totally
She would have
agree.
been fifth place at best. Josh Shapiro, much better candidate for the left. Newsom, much better candidate
screw
for the
Newsom.
left. Pritzker, billionaire against a billionaire. He could use a lot of different, and he's a fighter from Chicago. Much better. All of these guys would have been better, but guess what? In a non-primary
Newsom
way,
would have
the
been trounced.
Democrats who like democracy choose someone through the primary system that they have. They just said, it's Kamala. Everybody else, get behind her. Not attractive. And last but not least, I got a bonus still for you, but 25. There was a time people were uncomfortable to go change their registration to Republican. What if people find out? I can't have people know I'm a conservative Republican.
All right, so that's enough of that. I agree with everything he says. All right, like literally, Values Him laid it out. I agree with everything, barring some sort of weird bullshit situation that comes. I think Trump's going to win this thing. I'm going to stand by Trump winning. There's just a lot to like, a lot to support, and a lot that we need to change and move forward and to get out of this whole Biden administration. So that's my whole take on this whole thing. So yeah, today's election day, and my whole thing is that Trump's going to win, but be prepared for riots. Be prepared for smashings, window smashings, riots. And I think that Biden and Harris are going to open up the border and open up the floodgates for Trump to clean up when he takes over the office. That's what I think. So let me know what you guys think. Comment down below. And yeah, we're going to see what happens today. And we'll see you on the other side when Trump's declared a winner. All right, subscribe, hit the bell icon. I'll see you next one.